Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Gokula Nanda, Radha Gokula Nanda Radhe. Jaya Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman, Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Gaura Nitai, Jaya Gaura Nitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Gurudev. बोलो श्री श्री राधा गोकुलानंद भगवान जी की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। So Hare Krishna everyone. Today we shall be reading from chapter 4, verse 34. It's a very, very important verse. And I'm glad some of you are able to make it. And may I also take this opportunity to welcome our online viewers, if any. And we'll just be reading little Sanskrit, because it's always nice to try and recite Krishna's words, because they're Krishna's words in Bhagavad Gita as it is, that Srila Prabhupada very kindly wrote for us. And there's Sanskrit in it, but at the same time, underneath is English. And then we will then read the purport, and then after that, we will see what we have understood from it. Because the whole idea of coming to temple is, of course, have beautiful darshan of Shri Shri Radha Gokulananda, be in peace, your mind is at peace, but don't forget, this is also our opportunity to learn one extra thing, one more than what we meant to today, you know? And especially if we can learn something about Krishna, even better. Because everything else we have time for, we make time for. But this is one thing, most people are too busy. So, thank you. So let's just recite the verse. It's a very nice verse. You will know why I say it's nice, because this could be the verse that could help you find someone in your life who can actually then help you escape or help you cross this material world, you know. So let's just say, who've got Bhagavad Gita as it is on their phones? Anybody? They can just go to Vedic or Veda base or Veda library. Normally you have chapter 4, and those of you who haven't, then I suppose for 5-10 minutes you won't be able to see, then I will speak to you and think. Let me just do this, then I come back to you, okay? I know you didn't, but you're such a good boy. You just all ready and poised to hear. And that's the first quality. That's how Krishna conscious starts, when people are ready to hear. And I see you've made an effort to bring your chair so you can have, you know, understanding that you need. All glories to your wonderful initiative. So let's start. I'm going to say one line. I know it's Sanskrit. I know this is not our first language, but we can still try, right? So let's just start. Tadvidhi pranipatena. Good. From this side as well, please. Tadvidhi pratipatena. Tadvidhi pranipatena. This is difficult word now. Pariprashnena sevaya. Pariprashnena sevaya. Tadvidhi pranipatena. Pariprashnena sevaya. Updikshyanti te jnanam. Updikshyanti te jnanam. Updikshyanti te jnanam. One more time, please. Updikshyanti te jnanam. Jnaninas tattva darshina. Jnaninas tattva darshina. Jnaninas tattva darshina. So thank you for attempting. That's the main thing. You know, when we want to learn something, we are not here by chance. Krishna's made this arrangement so you guys can be here. So then you're making an attempt to learn, which is great, because it's meant to be, I guess. So the meaning, translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada ki. Good. The English meaning, now this is what might make much more sense to you. Just try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master. Inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized souls can impart knowledge unto you because they have seen the truth. So that's the translation. And it's a very important verse, you know, very, very important verse. And I will read the purport by His Divine Grace. And it says, The path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. The Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be a bona fide spiritual master without following the principle of disciplic succession. The Lord is the original spiritual master. We hear that? It's about Lord Krishna. The Lord is the original spiritual master. And a person in the disciplic succession can convey the message of Lord as it is to his disciple. No one can be spiritually realized by manufacturing their own process, as is the fashion of the foolish pretenders. The Bhagavatam says, Dharmam hi sakshat bhagvat pranitam. The path of religion is directly enunciated by Lord. Therefore, mental speculation or dry argument cannot help one progress in spiritual life. One has to approach a bona fide spiritual master to receive the knowledge. Such a spiritual master should be accepted in full surrender, and one should serve the spiritual master like a menial servant without false prestige. Satisfaction of self-realized spiritual master is the secret of advancement in spiritual life. Inquiries and submission constitute the proper combination for spiritual understanding. Unless there is submission and service, inquiries from the learned spiritual master will not be effective. One must be able to pass the test of spiritual master, and when he sees a genuine desire of disciple, he automatically blesses the disciple with genuine spiritual understanding. In this verse, both blind following and absurd inquiries are condemned. One should not only hear submissively from spiritual master, but one must also get a clear understanding from him in submission and service and inquiries. A bona fide spiritual master is the nature very kind towards the disciple. Therefore, when the student is submissive and is always ready to render service, the reciprocation of knowledge and inquiries become perfect. So thank you so much. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjala Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupam Kadameham Dadati Sa Padantikam Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Charu Swami Iti Namini Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namini. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Bhagavad Gita as it is ki. Thank you. So thank you all for coming. What's your name, Prabhuji? Abhay. And you? Manisha. And Abhay, you've been to any universities or schools? Huh? To university. Studying what? Okay. And what do you want to be? A teacher or whatever Krishna makes you? Or do you have any desires?
I'm already in a profession.
You're already in a profession. Okay. Teaching? Yes or no?
I used to be, yes.
You used to be teaching. There you go. Thank you. And what is your name, young man? I'm so impressed with your qualities already. Your dad and mom have done a wonderful job of raising you. What's your name? Sorry? You've been studying. Yeah. So did you say Rex? Rex, and what's the surname? Shakir. Okay, good. And what is that your brother? The cheeky one? I've got two boys as well, you know. It's amazing how quickly they grow. I've got two lovely boys, Manish and Akash. And they were just like you guys, you know, same age when they used to come here. There's a Krishna club there on Sundays. They used to come and learn like in the afternoon, little bit. Every Sunday, they have teachers here. So they used to teach them for about an hour or so. And we used to, me and my hubby, we used to sit here and listen to kirtan and stuff whilst they were being taught little, you know, kids are going to be kids, but they teach them in, you know, little bit about our culture so that, you know, they grow up with that nice core, you know. And there's, when they go to universities, a lot of people would try and do this, that, or some people go to be converted because there are people out there who want to convert and all that. Not that we worry about that much, because once we are growing up with our religion, we know it's the best. You know, Srila Prabhupada, it's open and so on. Anyway, moving on. What about you, young man? And are you studying in a school as well? Okay. And sorry, I forget to, what's Rex's brother's name? Keon. Welcome, Keon. So, good thing is, you all heard what we said, or Srila Prabhupada said in the purport. Can you remember one line or anything that stuck with you? Don't have to. You don't have to if you haven't, you know. But anyway, it's good that you guys listened, and that itself would be bringing all of piety and all these other things, you know. So now let's just start off with the words that it means and what it means in here. So the important words in this verse is, please remember, it's called Bhagavad Gita 4.34. So it's saying tad vidhi. Tad means that knowledge. Vidhi, try to understand. And the word, difficult words like pranipatena. I don't know if any of you guys used to watch, is it Mahabharat? There used to be Duryodhana and he used to always say pranipatena, remember? So what that means is paying obeisances essentially. But here it's meant as in approaching a spiritual master. And then it says pariprashnena. So pariprashnena means by submissive inquiries. Prashn means what? Prashn means question. Would you know a little bit of Hindi? I don't know if you know a little bit of Hindi, or maybe your parents, or, you know, in ours, like where I came from, I studied a little bit of Hindi as well. So they will say, instead of question answer, they will say prashan and uttar, right? So from there, prashnena comes by submissive inquiry. So it's not just inquiries, but it needs to be submissive, not arrogant. And then updekshanti, they will initiate. Initiating meaning they will give you knowledge, right? Like that. And tattva means truth. And darshana means seers, right? So someone who knows the truth. So when you go to study in university, you wanted to study that subject, right? So you chose the correct course in your university, I guess. Yes? Okay. So similarly, if somebody wants to study medicine, where should they go? They'll go on then. Yeah, a hospital or a doctor. But if they want to study to become a doctor, they need to find someone who is good and who has knowledge of medicine, right? That's how you become a doctor. The medicine school or the college or the university will teach him by making him study for 5 years how to become a good doctor, right? If you want to be a lawyer, can you go into studying medicines? No. Shri Shri Radha Gokulanand Bhagwan Ji ki, Shri Shri Radha, Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman Ji ki. So the point I'm making is, if you want an apple, you have to get it from apple tree. If you want an orange, can you go to mango tree? No. Similarly, if you want to become knowledgeable in a knowledge which is called transcendental knowledge. So there is lots of knowledge in this world. You know, we have so many professors, all these people. But there is one thing that lacks in this modern education. And what is that? It's the knowledge which is called transcendental knowledge. Transcendental means it's not from this world. So how can someone teach you that which doesn't exist of this world, right? Because, okay, I want to read something from Srimad Bhagavatam, which makes this point that we are talking about. Okay. Okay, I think it's verse 7.5. 5.31. And it starts off as Andha Yathandher. And let's just quickly read that for you. But I won't go in the Sanskrit. I will just read the English that we can all understand because of the time constraints. So it reads, I think this is where I think Prahlad Maharaj, and when he was having his dad telling him that, all the asuras were trying to teach him all the wrong things, and he wanted to learn the right thing. So this is in that context, and it says, persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life, and who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return back home, back to Godhead, and engage in the service of Lord Vishnu. Just as a blind man guided by another blind man miss the right path and fall into a ditch, materially attached men led by another materially attached man are bound by the ropes of fruitive labor, which is like karam kanda type. Like there's a motivation, there is some selfish need behind that, which are made up of very strong cords, and they continue again and again in this materialistic life of suffering the threefold miseries. So, we have all established we are not animals. Yes? Everybody agrees? We are not animals. Why? Because we still sleep like animals. We still eat like animals. Yes? We can mate just like animals can, right? But one thing is animals can't, they won't be able to question and be inquisitive about spiritual life like we can. This human form of life, you must have heard, is very precious. So many people talk about that. So this is our opportunity to make most of our human life, because this human life we get after, how many, Rajesh Krishna, you normally just say 8.4 million? 840 million types of different bodies that we have. And if you don't believe, look around you. There must be a time where we must have been an atom or a little amoeba or a plant, a leaf, a fish, a frog, who knows? An aquatic, could be mammals. Eventually we've evolved to be a human life, right? So for those reasons, this life is so precious, so we mustn't waste this opportunity, and we want to make most of this opportunity so that we can, the goal of everyone, so everyone needs to see, what am I supposed to do in this life? Just like everyone, or do I need to do something different? Is my goal going to be something else? And just like when you want to go, I made a point about when you got to go and study in university, that particular subject, you go and find the best teacher or a lecturer. So for example, 11 plus. If you want to pass 11 plus, you would do some research, parents would do some research for their children, put them in that class so that they can have the practice and somebody can prepare them and so on. So similarly, if we want to be successful in this life, and successful means 2-3 things, but we'll come back to that. Just hold with that thought. If you want to be successful transcendentally or spiritually, because you could be very successful. Steve Jobs, who knows who Steve Jobs was? Anyone? Heard the name? What was so special about him then? iPhone, Apple. He didn't go to that many universities or anything, isn't it? We heard. But he was knowledgeable and he made iPhones, Apple, and he made success of that company, right? And he made so much money. I don't know how many houses he may have, but all I know is he must have lots of money. But guess what? What's happened to Steve Jobs? Unfortunately, because did he have cancer? Something to that effect. I don't really know the full story, but all I know is he used to walk. He used to come to ISKCON somewhere, because this is what happens. Towards the end of your life, could Steve Jobs take any of his houses with him? And I'm not saying please don't work hard. You need to be successful. You need to get there. You need to make your money as well. You need to get the education as well so that you're all learned. But do it in the similar platform where you also have your spiritual knowledge to keep you balanced. Yeah? Like a train always runs on 2 sets of wheels, not just one. So Steve Jobs couldn't take anything with him. So if we want to be successful materially, great. I'm not dissing that. But at the same time, you also need to be successful in saving your own self. Who's here in management? Anyone in management? Anyone know the definition of management? Ages ago, I used to read, and then they used to say, it means, oh, wow, gone. Huh? Yeah, you handling it. But basically, managers, what do? They anticipate the problems before they occur. And then they place procedures or contingencies in that so that they can deal with these problems. So you are meant to be the managers of your own life. So if you can't help anybody else, can you at least try and help your own self? How would you do that? You need to manage your material side of life, but at the same time, spiritual side of life. How can we manage our spiritual side of life? Because we don't know everything about everything. But there are people who, like a learned lecturer in university in that particular subject, there are gurus who have spent all their life since they were 15, 16, 17 by reading the scriptures, and they have actually understood, and they have that treasure that they can, should they want, and should they be happy with you, should Krishna willing, they say Guru, what is that? Bhakti Lata Beej, Guru and Krishna Kripa, Pai Bhakti Lata Beej. So it's basically someone with the mercy of Krishna, of course, like you guys are all here. So many people in London, but only you guys are here because it's meant to be. Yeah, you could have been elsewhere. So similarly, with the mercy of Guru, we find Guru and Krishna. With mercy of Krishna, we find Guru, or with Guru, we find Krishna. It's both ways. And with those two, we find devotion, Bhakti Lata Beej, because we find devotion. And what does devotion mean? Devotion can be seen in many ways, but when you are conscious of that person all around, like we say Krishna consciousness, yes? So when you say, anyway, we all know what devotion means. So what they're talking about here is, in this particular verse, what they're saying is that you can actually find a guru who is bona fide and in disciplic succession. And what does that mean? Like you said, you were studying and then you became a teacher. So this is Srila Prabhupada's vision, right? And this is law of nature. You'd always say, oh, there's that Prabhuji, he's a professor. And he does lots of good stuff like tax. I don't know whether he teaches everyone about accountancy and tax evasion. I don't know how he does that. But he's such a good pujari here, and all his life, anytime he has him and his wife, they're always here, right? But basically, when you want a guru who can actually save you and save you in this life and give you his blessings in such a way so that you can actually make success of your life. And in the purport we read, it just says, the path of spiritual realization is undoubtedly difficult. It's very difficult, isn't it? Even learning maths is difficult, would you say? 4 fours are? Would you know? Very good. 2 times 8? See? Good. Very good. And would you know 3 fives are? Good. So you guys already know your maths, but it's very difficult. Even doing education, You just come from school and you think, oh my God, I've had such a hard day. Yeah, and people go to work and think, oh gosh, finally I'm home. So that is difficult, but spiritual life is even more difficult. So what can you do? Lord advises us to do what? To approach a bona fide spiritual master in line of disciplic succession. And then they go to tell us that Lord himself was a teacher. So we all know, like Krishna, from Krishna, who did he teach Srimad Bhagavatam to? Lord Brahma. Lord Brahma's son was then taught by Lord Brahma, Narad Muni, right? And from Narad Muni, who did it go to? Vyasdev. And then Sukdev Goswami. And so on, and then Sukdev Goswami, and then what's that king who only had 7 days to live? Parikshit Maharaj. So similarly, there's so many, and it's come in a disciplic succession, one after the other. So what they're saying is, if you want, and this is not any, if I may use that phrase, Tom, Dick and Harry saying, you can do this. It's Lord Shri Krishna's advising us what to do. Lord therefore advises us to approach a bona fide spiritual master in the line of disciplic succession from the Lord himself. No one can be, so you can't really make it up. If you go to the expert teacher in, say, accountancy, he has to learn what is deemed as the curriculum for that particular subject. Yes, children? You go to school, they say, okay, if you're in this class, you need to study this, this, this. So similarly, the Lord is the original spiritual master, and the person in disciplic succession can convey the message of Lord as it is to his disciple. Thank you very much for coming. Hare Krishna. So it can't be made by foolish people or pretenders. So this is where we need to then stop dry speculation and arguments, but we need to find and pray to Krishna. Krishna, if you so desire, please make let me have a guru or whoever is, but guru needs to be like the guru is never going to be selfish. He's always wanting your progression, your success. It's never going to be, if it's something selfish, you know they're not. And there is a definition of guru later on as well. But obviously there's so much in Bhagavad Gita that we can't fit in just 15, 20 minutes, half an hour class. But the important message that we need to take is, who's heard of Storm Babbitt? Who watched news today? I was traveling down from Sheffield today. This is where I was training. I changed my job. So they put me up in Hilton somewhere, and then so I checked the weather to see what is going to be like my driving conditions. And what happens in storm? Did you see they're predicting that, like in Scotland, there's going to be storm, and people are getting those things ready so that it doesn't flood their houses. And they're learning from previous time where they've had to have these boats come and take them out from their houses or wherever. And because in storm and in water, what is that can be the saving grace? Only boat can, or helicopter can, right? So similarly, Srila Prabhupada gives an example of in the rough seas, if we want to overcome this ocean of materialistic life, what do we need to do? We need a boat that can take us in a safety or towards safety. So similarly, Guru does that. Because we don't understand everything, and he does, he can then guide us, right? So, our gurus in ISKCON, they live such an austere life, and you just think, and there's so many others. But although they might be, it may appear that this person is talking about this or he's attending this, but deep inside, they have they want to be your well-wisher. And this is why, Srila Prabhupada would always sign your forever well-wisher. Why? Because what did he need from us? Did he took anything from us? No. Any money, anything we gave, he's built temples. Otherwise, what were the chances? In London, you'd be sitting here in a temple. and talking Bhagavad Gita. None. It's his hard work that he chose to come here in his retirement age, wrote all these books so we can all learn all these things, you know. So it's very important that we pray to Krishna to say, please, sincerely pray. Because my son always tells me that Gaur Govinda Swami Maharaj, he's written something. And in there he just says that if there is two types of gurus, there's going to be one which is Bhogya Darshan, and then there is one which is original. And then there's always cheating in this world. And cheating also comes from, we know we have 4 defects as human being. So if I switch the lights off, would you be able to see that lovely lady there? You won't be able to. Even though we got eyes and our senses are there, but guess what? I can't see. What's Rex? What's your brother's name? Huh? Where's Keon hiding? He's hiding behind his daddy. We can still see you, Keon. So because our senses are imperfect, we can't grasp everything as it is to best of our abilities. We try. So we have cheating propensities. So similarly, in this material world, there's a lot of bogus gurus. And they're gurus. So depending on what your desires are, one can actually then beget a guru who is sincere and who's going to take you up as a sincere disciple to help you overcome the obstacles in the path of devotion. We mentioned devotion service is difficult. It's not easy. Everything is difficult. Like I mentioned, schooling is difficult. You know, university is difficult. Householder life is difficult. Brahmacharya life is difficult. But it doesn't matter where you are. We can all have. And then he says, only those who surrender onto the lotus feet of Krishna can cross over the ocean of material existence, the self-forgetfulness of the living inquiry entity, forgetting that he is eternally the servitor of Krishna. So also that you need to do service. So they're saying you approach a guru. Krishna has advised us, approach a guru. But at the same time, he's also saying that he should be in bona fide and in disciplic succession. Then he says, then what you need to do is inquire from him about difficult subjects that we find. But how do you inquire from him? Submissively. That is the important thing, submissive. You can't be arrogant. Guru doesn't need you. You need him to feel so pleased with your services that he would be able to shower his blessings on you. Isn't that what children do? Mums always say to them, please play with good children, because they want you to have good association. That's why we come here, because we want association of Shishi Radha Gokulananda. So his good qualities are going to rub on us or our children, and that's how we want to become even more good. So this is what they're saying, that by then you serving your guru submissively, and don't think it's bad or it's mentioning a word menial servant. Are you mum to that gentleman here? Right? Does he pay you? Every time you make aloo paranthas for him, he pays you? When you wake him up in the morning, say, can you get up? I need you to go to school. Does he shower on you? My children did. Why do I have to get up? It's so early in the morning. It's so cold. I don't want to go to school. Right? Do you get paid? Nothing. You get paid in love. He does hug you, though, sometimes, isn't it? Sometimes. I know my children, you know what my younger one says to me? He goes, Mom, stop being so needy. When I go and say to him, I need a hug, he says, Mom, can you stop being so needy? I'm like, you know, all my life, raise them up and everything, and then there comes a time where they think we're needy because we want a hug. Now, he's a lovely guy, though. My younger one is gorgeous. Anyway, so coming back to the topic, that the association is very important. So by pleasing your teacher in school, by being a good boy, when he tells you to do something, when he gives you homework, you do homework, they automatically want you to progress. They want you to be successful in life. Similarly, it goes for the guru. He wants you to make success of this life. So automatically, they feel that they want to give you the knowledge that you need so that you can become successful. You can also then become teacher and teach and give that knowledge to others. So similarly, Srila Prabhupada, he came to West. Not very many people even knew what Bhagavad Gita was. But he was so kind, he put it in all languages. And I kid you not, there's some people who criticize even that, like, what is the point of you learning from, there's like Gora Maharaj or this Maharaj. They fail to grasp the essence that Srila Prabhupada does not care what language it is in, whether it's Sanskrit, whether it's Hindi, whether it's Bengali, whether it's Russian, whether it's Spanish or French. He just wants you to grasp the essence of Bhagavad Gita. And that's all that matters sometimes. It doesn't matter, like which language you're reading in, as long as you grasp. And similarly here, Srila Prabhupada was so proud when he took some devotees from here because they studied Bhagavad Gita. They become competent. Once you become competent, what happens? You are then in the same shoes as your teacher because your teacher is proud of having brought you to that standard where now you're able to preach. So similarly, when Srila Prabhupada first time took some of the English people who were his boys and girls in the sense that he had showered them with knowledge, they were competent, he used to call them my white dancing elephants, so that he can see that Indian people can see that if people from Western side can encroach this knowledge, absorb this knowledge, and then they have transformed their lives. They have become free from everything that is nasty. They've become free from addiction. They've become free from illicit sex. They've become free from ignorance. They are free from depression, all these diseases that they may have. By just learning from Bhagavad Gita as it is, putting it into practice by serving. Why does this Prabhuji serve Radha Gokulananda ji? I can tell you he's got enough money. He does jobs. He doesn't need to be here. But you get a special rasa. Like I mentioned about you learning, making food for your son, doing things for your son. So we are all menial servants. So just because in here it's being used, pariprashnena sevaya, as a menial servant that you actually serve your guru to please him. And what are you doing? You're pleasing your son. That's what I've done all my life. My children, touch wood, they're grown up now and they're doing their own jobs and they're all settled. And this is what you'll be doing, isn't it? And he'll be even serving Kion, did you say? Kion, right? So this is it. We are all bound by love and we bound by our qualities and our we're bound by the fact that we want to be well-wisher of each other. We want each and every one to progress. In material life, people don't do that. But in spiritual life, people encourage you that you also should achieve that goal. You should also be a nice singer. You should also do nice arti. You should also be doing this. They encourage you. Because why? Because they have gained from somebody who preached to them. Like I have gained from my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Bhakti Charu Swami Maharaj. So what do I want to do? He gave me a direct instruction. You should preach. So what am I going to do? My Guru's direct instruction. What's he gaining anything from me? Is he making any money from me? No. Is he gaining anything from this? No. He just simply wants to be kind to all these people who are lost in this world of obstacles, world of this material attraction, Everything else is there. People make time for absolutely everything, but they don't make time for the very thing that is going to take them out from this circle of life and death and old age and disease, because that everyone has to go through. What did Madonna look like when she was 18 or 20? And what does Madonna look like now, despite her doing all sorts of things to her, surgeries, faces, everything else? We all have to go through old age. Everyone was young, then they grow, and then whichever. But we don't die. and that is the good thing. If you say that devotees die, no. Of course, you die with the body, but you live forever. How? There is an example Srila Prabhupada gives of a cat when it's holding the rat in her mouth. She's not kind to it. Similarly, when death is coming to a devotee, it's a very different kind of death, a kind death, where you are just thinking about Krishna. But when you are actually a cat holding its kitten, just that's compared to how a devotee dies, as opposed to how cat holds a rat. Yes? So let's all vow that we will do 5 minutes at least. That's all it takes, 5 minutes to do one round of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Are you promising me that? Good. And that is the perfect thing. He's going to be on his way to big Mahatma. Those he didn't hear him, he said, by the way, your body dies, but your soul doesn't die. And exactly that. Because your soul doesn't die, and soul goes to the lotus feet of Krishna, his Golok, and we always serve Krishna there. So thank you so much for coming. And please make sure that you start your relationship with Krishna. If you're coming here, have a nice darshan of him. Bring a flower from your garden. Krishna doesn't want your money. If you give it, no harm, because all this temple would use it for a very good cause. But if you don't give it, he's not going to punish you. He just wants your devotion, right? So please come, or at your home, take some water to Krishna. Please sit down in front of your temple room and chant. What do you chant? Hare Krishna. Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. And if you can get, please, 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 Krishna displayed by his example by getting a guru when he was little, Sandeepni Muni in Ujjain. Lord Ram had, what was the name of his guru, Rajesh? Vishishta Muni. And then there was Lord Chaitanya, he had Ishwarpuri. So all our role models, including Krishna, he's the supreme, he knows everything, even he had guru. So on that note, I will end, and we just say Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is ki, not Bhagavad Gita as it is ki. Thank you all for coming, and Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Guru Maharaj ki jai. And now there'll be Aarti, and you'll have beautiful darshan of Krishna, and then the most beautiful spiritual prasad. You better stay and take some, right? It's very tasty. I can tell you that.
Oh, you're gonna love it. Really? Yeah. You're gonna love it. Go ahead. Go back there. Shri Shri Radha Gokula Nanda ki, Shri Shri Sita Ram Lakshman Hanuman ki, Shri Shri Gaurani Jai ki. Jaya Jaya Gaura Chandir Arati Ko Shobha. Jaya Arati ko shobha jana vitatamani jagamanalo Nikateya Dvaita Srini Vasachakradhara Bhakti Ache Goracha Ratna Simhasani Arati Korina Brahma Adi Devakane Narahari Adhikori Chamaradulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Gosharigaya Sankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Shankha Bhaje Ganta Bhaje Bhaje Karatala Madhura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Madhura Mridanga Bhaje Paramarasala Shankha Bhaje Ghanta Bhaje Madhu Madhu Madhura Bhaje Shankha Bhaje Ghanta Bhaje Madhu Madhu Madhura Bhaje Madhura 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 Bhaje Madhura 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 Bhaje Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Hari Bol Hari Bol Nitai Gaura Hari Bol Jaya Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Gaura Nitai Jaya Gaura Nitai Chandrajini Vadana Ujjvala Bahu Koti Chandrajini Vadana Ujjvala Gala desi banamala Kore chalamala Siva Sukha Narada Twemegaragara Siva Sukha Narada Twemegaragara Bhagati Vinoda Dekhi Gorara Sampada Jaya Jaya Gorachandi Arati ko shobha Jai Navi Tatamani Jagamana Lobha Gorangi Arati ko shobha Jagajanamana Lobha Gorangi Arati ko shobha Jagajanamana Lobha Jaga Jaga